What's going on, guys? It's Krypt here, and it's time for another Krypt review. I've been through a lot lately, so I'm putting all my attention back here, where it belongs. So we're doing a Krypt review. So let's actually have a look at the Krypt. Starting with equipment, because you should always start with equipment if you're a beginner, even if you're a maxed account player. You need to make sure you get these gears fully maxed out. Starting off with Power Glove, if you're a beginner, cop this thing up. And I bet you have it maxed as a maxed account player, so you don't have to even worry about that. It's just gonna be empty. Cryomancer Armor. It's very underwhelming. It's a Link Tower piece, but as a beginner, as a maxed account player, semi-maxed, or whatever, cop it up. Alright, you need to go for gears. Gears are end game these days. Alright, characters do not always cut it, but gear does. It doesn't matter what character you use, gears will always make the difference, make or break your account. And with how much easier they are to get, and December is coming up here soon, so Link Tower will definitely be a good one to stockpile for, because you don't have much time left. Santa is coming for your Beyond Tormentor. I like this gear. I do. I like Noob Saibot's Brutality. I think it's fun. So the thing about Beyond Tormentor is that it increases lethal blow chance by 5%. That increases power reduction cost at Fusion 0 by 10%. Just overall, it's got some decent effects. It's not perfect. I will not say this gear is perfect, but if you use Noob Saibot a lot for Deathmark, this is a good step in the right direction, because he could not only apply Deathmark, but also potentially do Brutality. You've got two end games for the opponent. Deathmark to ensure that they get finished off, and Brutality, just in case Deathmark doesn't work, because, well, let me tell you, the opponents don't always care what you've got in store for them. Next up, characters. My favorite part. I love going over the characters. Starting off with Vampiress Melina. Something's just not quite right with her. Alright. It's definitely her playstyle. The character looks cool, but for beginners, hard pass. You've got every character in the game and you're just trying to max out these basic golds, potentially, but I'd rather you max out the great diamonds that you see on these Krypt season than to go for these golds, right? You can always get them from tower rewards. You don't have to rely on the Krypt store to purchase this stuff. Patrick Kung Lao. No. MKX had one fatal flaw. Although it spawned the best mobile game ever made, MK Mobile, it did a disservice to quite a few characters. And one of the characters they did a major disservice for is Kung Lao. He just looks like absolute baloney in MKX. And from MK11 onward, they did Kung Lao right. So I'm just gonna have to say it, yeah, Kung Lao here just looks like absolute crap. Do not purchase him. He doesn't look good, and he also doesn't play very well. Lizard Jade. If you have most characters unlocked, this is a good one to go for, because Lizard Jade would make a good addition to your collection, especially if you have Lizard Brock at a high fusion. Problem is, if you're a beginner, what do you do? Answer is, do not pick a copy of Jade up. No way, Jose. Stay away from Jade. As a beginner, she ain't beginner friendly. Fusion 0, she ain't gonna do anything for your collection, and it'll take forever to get her maxed out, so don't even start. Let random drops solve everything for you. Circle Shadow Sub-Zero is next up, and I would say purchase, but we're gonna hold off because there's another great character in this roster, and I'll tell ya, it's not Katana. This Katana, Ronin Katana, is the reason she was abandoned as a child. It was the reason why she was neglected by Sindel. It's the reason she offed herself, just so she doesn't have to see Katana in this ridiculous outfit. She just sucks. Lastly, Injustice 2 Raiden, which then this becomes a battle of the two. Do you purchase Injustice 2 Raiden or Circle Shadow Sub-Zero as a beginner? Because I'd like to say both, because they both are a great buy, but come on. What beginner is getting 30,000 hearts? Or if you're able to grind more than the 10,000 hearts it requires to purchase both of these, then you're doing something very right. But if you actually have that much more, it's probably not enough to purchase both of these characters. So with that in mind, we need to pick. And my favorite goes to Injustice 2 Raiden. Do not purchase Circle Shadow Sub-Zero if you can't. Or if you need to pick between these two, you need to go for Injustice 2 Raiden. Injustice 2 Raiden is just overall... I didn't include Sub-Zero on my list for best character because he's good, but not Injustice 2 Raiden good. This guy has one of the best passives in the game, one of the best combo wonders in the entire game, and most importantly, special attacks. What kind of effects they cause, and just the overall damage is spectacular. With Team Soak, this guy is a beast, a monster. Classic Raiden is better for normal battles, but for boss battles, this guy is the king of doing damage to the entire team. Yeah, so Injustice 2 Raiden, definitely gonna pick favorites. Go for him first if you're not gonna go for Circle Shadow Sub-Zero. So my favorite was always gonna go Injustice 2 Raiden. All right, my favorite was always gonna go to this man. If you had to choose between the two, go for him. But if you're a maxed account and you grinded 40,000 hearts, then you purchase these two, all right? And only if you have leftover hearts to spare, which still help me God, just purchase this entire roster at that point, you can go for Lizard Jade. Okay. So that is going to wrap up this Krypt review. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it's a little short video, but I had to get this out. It's been a while. And I plan on making more guides. That's my go-to here. Making more guides. I had fun making that beginner guide my last video. Last video ago. Is that how you say it? But I plan to make more. Anyways, guys, peace out.